Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
All right. As always, I'm Bob of Tales by Bob.
I'm the ass of the podcast, Derek.
I am creative consultant, Tanya.
She's
Sobering.
up a bit. Yeah. Getting there.
Watering myself.
Yeah. Which is good because it's time for our monthly short reads.
Yeah, I had to be focused.
You got to come correct, come ready. Come
I'm looking forward to you coming correct with these names.
Oh, shots fired.
Oof. Okay. So if you haven't read them yet, go stop the podcast. Go to booksbeardsbooze.com. Go to the short reads tab. Scroll down till you find August, and there are links to both stories. They are both from this month's, the most recent issue of Beneath Ceaseless Skies.
Beyond Ceaseless Skies?
I think it's Beneath Ceaseless Skies. It's an online magazine that's great. And so here... Oh, Lord. Okay.
All right, Bob.
This is probably my favorite part of this episode.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
The Iron Eels by Jeremy A. TeGrotenhuis. Pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm close on that one.
It's acceptable. At least
right.
you didn't like Tigger.
Yeah, you know what? What it was the conviction. You just kind of went with it and just wrote it out, and you were like, this is now how you say this name.
TeGrotenhuis.
Yeah.
So the second story is That August Song by Benjanun Sriduangkaew.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll accept it. Maybe it's right, maybe it's not, but you said it as if it was a real name, so I approve.
Benjanun Sriduangkaew.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with
So
it.
proud of you for this so far, Bob.
Well,
Is it accurate? We don't know, but he
No,
at
but
least
you
probably not.
you
but-
went with it.
he didn't bumblefuck it, and he just really
Yeah, I didn't. Normally, there's a lot more stuttering, a lot more
Hesitate.
fucks.
Yeah.
So yeah,
improvement.
yeah, we're getting there.
I see, and I even left the derpy at home. You didn't earn it that time.
You damn right.
I'm
Well, I
actually
mean,
a little
ever-
upset there's no derpy.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting in my curio
In
cabinet
a
next
place
to,
of honor.
Yeah, he's next to my little derpy bear cat thing.
And next to the
Tentacle
dildo.
dildo. Yeah.
Tentacle dildos on the other side of the curio cabinet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Derps to the right,
Cuteness.
dicks to the
There you
left.
go.
Clowns to the left of you, pokers to the right.
Yikes.
Oh, that was real good.
Yikes. But yeah.
Bob, Air 5.
Air 5. Pew.
Okay.
Okay. So
Dim eels, though.
we're doing the eels.
doing the
What-
eels.
Is that the unagis?
the unagis, the sashimis?
Can we talk about the metal unagis?
So can we, let's just, overall,
Okay, overall.
what did you think?
of both stories?
Sure.
Overall, I liked both stories.
Same.
I thought they were trash. I'm just fucking with you.
I was like, that's a hot take.
Yeah, no, I liked the Iron Eels more than That August Song, but I have my reasons why.
I have
We'll go into
opinions.
it.
Yeah, we have things.
Okay.
So let's do the Iron Eel.
That was the one I read first. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the first one on the list.
Yeah, first on the list. So we'll do.
Don't get an attitude with me, drunkie over here.
Hey, I'm only at like 60%.
Yeah, but I'm shooting up there, so I'll be drunkie
Catch
next
up.
episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So the Iron Eels by Jeremy A. TeGrotenhuis. To summarize it, this guy who used to be in the military is basically living in a village now next to magical Chernobyl, and magical Chernobyl does what magical Chernobyl does, and Chernobyl's all over everything, and it's his job to go around and inspect everyone to see if they're now magically radioactive, and if they are, these magical mechanical iron eels will burn the corruption. And it becomes clear over the course of the story that it is inevitable that they are going to become infected, and so he figures out a way to escape with his family by setting up
A distraction,
a
essentially.
distraction, which is killing 12 people.
They signed up for it.
Indirectly killing 12 people.
No, I don't.
Well, I don't know how you.
I don't think it's very
Not
indirectly.
indirect, but he didn't like stab them. kind of deal.
I mean, he
literally did.
He literally did
actually stabbed them.
Yeah.
All of them in their sleep.
To death.
No, he did not stab them unto death. No, he stabbed them and then sicked the eels on them.
We're being ridiculous here. He killed those people.
He did. Like, I didn't want people who aren't reading the story to think that he went around and like hobo stabbed these people.
No, he didn't murder them.
He murdered them smart. He worked smarter, not harder.
Did he though? Like that was. Anyways,
being able to like finagle the box and sick the
it was super cool. But I'm just saying, like he almost could have just went through there and went slitting throats as easy as he was moving through there. Obviously, it wouldn't have gotten the same effect because he needed the eels to be busy. That was the point. But.
Yeah.
So overall, I really liked this story.
I did too.
It was my favorite of the two.
So my biggest thing about this is from the beginning up until they made it clear that there was no avoiding this and they were all going to die, I was like, I want this book. Like, I'm in on this.
Yeah.
Like, the idea of them having Magitech and them having a magic refinery and, like, shit went sideways and then, like, they're testing people. Like, I was in for all of that. And I was like, hell yeah, let me get this. Then it kind of went, and I was like,
At what point, like, when he takes over the testing? Or...
I was even with it for the testing, but, like, when it made it clear...
And the lady shot her face off. And then, like,
when that lady has, like, the blue... To me, the point where I was like, oh, there's no coming back is when the woman walks around showing, we have blue dirt, guys. Yeah. Blue dirt, that ain't good.
But, see,
I'm
salty about this to some extent because I'm like, move. Like,
but they can't. That's the thing is now they're under quarantine. Yeah, that's the point.
They're under quarantine, but haven't been.
Yeah, but see,
they haven't had that spelled out because what these people. No,
I got it, but they tested everyone. They knew everyone was clean.
Yeah, they should have just
left after you tested them. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Get out.
Yeah. That was the only problem I had with this because I was like.
Yeah, hindsight.
You know? I think kind of the implication was, if you think like government bureaucracy, they're probably like, oh, these people tested clean. Well, we don't want a refugee crisis. I
don't know because the way they described it, like there's so much free area, like there's just wilderness between this place and the next small town.
Right.
Well, I just kind of got the impression that like a lot of the other towns had also gotten corrupted over time. So like, okay, you're gonna leave your place and then go to a town that doesn't seem safe either. That's kind of what I walked away from is like, yes, this corruption is inevitable taking over the town, but I kind of walked away from the story going, okay, it's literally unavoidable everywhere.
Well, because God is everywhere.
You just have to like wake him up.
That's like the line they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like the wild magic is literally everywhere. There's no safe place to be.
Well, I don't think it's everywhere. I think they.
I don't think it's like corruption levels everywhere, but it's like latent and dormant.
Well, no, because the way that they were talking, like that, the reason that refinery's there is that's a part where
pulling magic out of the soil.
Where the magic can come out. Like it's not just everywhere. It's like you have places where you can access the magic. Is how it seemed.
Because I felt like it seems like to me from the refinery, like they're pulling it out of the ground, but also that's not the appropriate way to be using magic. So it's probably like, hey, it's super unstable when you do this thing that we're doing to it.
Yeah.
And then, but we don't care. We're just going to frack it anyway.
Well, I mean, if you're going to do it correctly, okay, but
yeah. Well, and like just the way they kind of describe everything about how this government organization runs, it just seems like this government isn't like the savviest. You know, like they're not sending like really like cream of the crop people to handle this kind of deal. Like they've got one old Magitech guy that they probably don't care if he dies, as long as he can handle the process, like help get this place kind of shut down. Like it just seems like they're not really like super on top of things. They send in a whole bunch of like expendables
because they're probably going to get infected and have to die. Yeah. So why would you send like your super important people in the field where they're probably going to die?
Well, in theory, if you had better people, they might be able to contain it. Is kind of how I kind of thought about it. Yeah. But I don't know. I think my house is haunted.
What? I mean, I already knew that in there it was haunted.
So weird. A quick aside about my house being haunted. I was recording with Goldie earlier in his video recorded video, like over program. And she's like, "Oh, who else is there with you?" I was like, "Just me." She's like, "Oh, I thought I saw someone walking behind you." It's like,
Great. Super reassuring.
That's
okay, cool,
well.
awesome.
Love it.
Well,
Yeah.
that seems. I think maybe your friend from down country just came with you.
Could
Sarah
be.
Jessica Parker, hitched a
Yeah.
ride.
Could be. But yeah, no, it was.
But
yeah.
up till that point, I was in. Like the idea of there being wild magic from accidents, or like wild magic that occasionally bubbles up and like corrupts people, and like it turns them into these
Monsters.
horrifying
Yeah.
monsters and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Burn
so
the witch.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, but it was one of those things where like this isn't like a burn the witch. It was like no, they're fucking witches. That mean they have no choice. Like
Yeah.
they're once they're infected, like they're just gonna turn into these horrific things that you gotta kill.
Yeah, they
But-
can regenerate.
And their fucking skin just falls off, and their body all gets all twisted up
Yeah.
into this new
I
form. And I'm like,
loved the
what?
descriptions of the like just the ground just kind of indulating and being all like blobby and shit like that. Like
to me, it was
I enjoyed
very
it.
almost Lovecrafty.
That's what I got too. Just kind of
Kinda.
that like let me very vaguely describe things. That way you can kind of put your weirdness
kind
on
of
it.
also trying to describe the indescribable. How he's
Well-
talking about like how where the wild magic, where the refinery is. It's like you can't really imagine. It's like it's folded in over itself.
Yeah,
and,
I love
like,
it.
Like you get an image of that, but can you really imagine what
Yeah,
that is?
I
and
don't
like
know, but-
trees with mouths and stuff like that. I loved it.
It's kind of the way they describe the blight in Wheel of Time, because like they gave you some description, in other parts they were like, "Shit's weird, man."
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fucking weird.
The mouths on the trees.
Just stop.
Some of them were dog mouths. Yeah, because they were barking up the wrong tree.
God bless America.
So, anyways, but no, up until that point, I was like into it because I would love to see like an outbreak of like see a war between like these creepy things.
I would like to have
and-
seen like a book of his time in the war.
Yeah, that's what I ended up wanting to see, because then it wasn't like a magic refinery that went sideways. It was like them having to manage this technology, and it's like, well, yeah, these are the weapons they're using to fight stuff, so you kind of need it.
Yeah.
But also, it could go sideways if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And I just thought it would be. I was in, and then it got to that, and I was like, oh, well, this isn't as much fun.
Yeah.
And turned into Chernobyl, and I'm like, man, I already read a short story for this podcast about this.
Chernobyl. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want
was
to
it
read
the zero
it
meter
again.
diving team?
100
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Zero meter diving team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, I was way more into it before it got to that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it was still good, but it was just like,
I thought it was kind of topical in that, not that we've had a nuclear explosion or anything, but the Chernobyl documentary just hit. And
Yeah, it's
it was a big-
anniversary and yada
Yeah, it
yada.
was like a big. That was
or
like
that
a big
HBO
success.
TV show.
Yeah, so like
Chernobyl.
it's kind of on people's minds currently, and this was.
Hey, and we talked about the news about Chernobyl beer.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Or,
yeah,
this
they did.
week.
vodka.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vodka. Yeah.
Neat.
So yeah, I thought that was overall good story. This is definitely one of those short stories like I want more of this world.
I was just like,
Yeah, this is super neat.
I can't oversell. Like up until that point, I was just like, yeah.
I mean, I was
Okay.
all in on metal eels.
In my head, I'm like,
Floating
this is.
around the air.
In my
Yeah.
head, I'm like, this is a fucking Final Fantasy
Weren't there
game.
fucking in World of Warcraft? Weren't there some like floaty eel things?
Yeah, there were mana eels.
Man eels, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like mana eels, but in
Metal.
Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I was
so
thinking
metal.
too.
So here's the thing, though. Why iron? Why not steel? So they could be steels.
I always get this backwards. Which one turns into
Iron makes steel.
iron makes steel? Maybe they don't know the
Maybe they don't
the
know
process
steel,
of
yeah.
doing that yet, because they're too focused on the
yeah,
magic
but the
part.
opportunity for the pun is there.
Exactly, and I
Steel.
know that's all you were looking for.
Yeah, I feel
so
like that's what they. That's why everything's
I
so
think
shit.
I think from now on, when you ask a question and it's trying to turn into a pun, I'm going to take it super literally and try and take the wind out of your sails.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
fair.
Okay.
Anything else you want to add on this story? Anything else?
No, I just really liked it. I liked how we got the guy's family as an aspect of there and little daughter. And yada,
I'll
yada,
say
like
this:
that.
the story did go in a different direction. When I started reading this, I really was like, "Oh God, the kid."
I thought the kid was.
That's
the
what I
kid's
thought
gonna get
too.
infected.
Same,
Yeah, me
same.
too.
And so it was
Me
cool.
too.
It cool that it kind of subverted that that expectation. And then like even when he was like trying to escape, I really thought like, oh, this is good, man, fucking something. But no, they
what did you take the last line to mean?
The gods everywhere kind of thing?
Yeah, like what did it imply something like
I think it might almost be implying what Tanya was saying, that like no matter what, it's eventually going to get you somehow.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if like was it implying that he was infected?
Well, I'm thinking no.
I mean, he never tested his family again. Because he's like, well, I'm the tester, wink, wink. You don't have to worry at all. Yeah. So I don't think he ever retested his family.
Well, he specifically said that he wasn't doing his job.
Yeah. I mean, like once that lady blew her face off, I think like he was like,
that was a dramatic scene.
And then I'm thinking, how do you have a shotgun, flip it around, bang it on the floor, and shoot yourself in the face that quick? Well, how do you get your toe in there?
Well, he didn't never say it was really that quick because he had moved far enough away. It's not like he was going to try to stop her.
She calls his name. He turns around at the door. She blows her face off.
Well, no, he's outside the building.
I thought he was like at the door.
He'd walked away, and she comes outside and does it outside.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you don't want to make a mess inside.
Exactly. At least she's considerate that way.
Yeah, tidy. Keep a tidy house.
But then, like, that nightshade tea, dead family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Good read.
I enjoyed it.
But I also think like maybe it was the other thing it could be saying is just the horrors of what he did stayed with him no matter what. Like because he moved to a different country and they had him doing maintenance work and I just kept reminding him of that, and so he quit and he went somewhere more remote. But maybe he was trying to say that well, even he did that, but he still remembers what he did.
He may not be corrupted officially with the wild magic, but
he was
it's
affected
still
by what he did.
It's still gonna stick to him.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about
that August song.
That August song by Benjanun Sriduangkaew.
That's not how you said it the first time.
Sriduangkaew.
Benjanun Sriduangkaew.
Oh, fuck me.
You're ruining this.
You got me twisted. That's Tanya's fault. I had it under control. Tanya got me twisted. All right.
I love it.
So I did like this story, but I had a hard time getting into it. Like I feel like I would like the story a lot more on a second read through.
Yeah, same.
Because it was kind of throwing so much at you right at the beginning that wasn't clear.
Learning curve.
Yeah, the learning curve was way too steep at the beginning. A second read through, I think, again, I'd like it a lot more.
Yeah.
I
almost did a second one. I meant to actually go back and reread the first section again because after the first section, I got a handle on what was happening, what we were talking about.
Yeah.
But I just completely forgot.
But the I'm going to pull a Derek here, and I think, well, not exactly a Derek, but this story tried to bite off more than it could chew. It was trying to tell a bigger story than a short story could properly contain, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot going on. Like, if this is the first chapter of a book, I'm a lot more with it. Because then it's like, oh, okay, now we're going...
I think if it was the first chapter of a book, too much would have happened.
Well, yeah. But yeah, you see what I'm saying, though? Like,
if
this was like this...
If this was the setting.
If this stretched out...
And there were intermittent scenes that were put...
Stretch this out to 75, 80,000 words and make it a book, basically. You know? Like,
so basically...
Or at least a novella.
So if, like, the beginning of the story was the beginning of the book, the end of the story was the end of the book, but there was just
some
more
shit in the inside.
in there. Yeah.
Like,
I
want to know more about this three-mouthed sing-song lady.
Yeah.
Does she have to sing the creatures to hatch them?
Does she have to
so.
brush 3 sets of teeth every day?
Are they mouths, or is like one of them a vagina and then one's her belly button and one's her mouth? Because that's in my head what I'm thinking.
No, I envision them on her shoulders.
Well,
like,
no,
titty mouths.
Well, she did say she had to undress to expose her mouths.
Yeah, but I just kind of I just imagined it was like they were like on her, like above her heart on either side. Like, this is how I envisioned it.
Lung level.
Like they were covered, and they said it had to be something that wouldn't chafe. Because he didn't want
chapped lips.
Maybe
chapped lips. But I mean, just because it's covered, that could be literally anywhere on her body that's not her face.
But since you immediately jumped to her, one of my favorite things, and honest to God, and this is a super petty reason, the reason I liked this story more than the other one is because her title was Melodist.
That is cool.
And that was a great title. And I was just like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I dig it.
One thing that kind of bothered me, like they very early, they're like, oh, the pilot priests and the melodist are like two halves of the same coin. Like, but they never really talk much about how they're really that connected.
Yeah.
I assume it's just that they're the two parts of the expedition or the forces that are down fighting, because one of them makes the things and the other one's pilot the things.
Yeah, that could.
That's the best I could figure.
Yeah, and that may be 100%
because
what it
everyone
is,
else is up in the fucking
Citadel or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they're down in this watery temple area. Mm-hmm. I mean, like the world building here was just really, and you know me, I love
this was some wiki wild world building.
Any
water
sort
world,
of like
underwater.
I love water world stuff. I love underwater stuff, and I love
water
kaiju.
worlds.
Yeah. I love how
these are
exactly.
kaiju.
This is 100% kaiju.
This
I was
is-
thinking Pacific Rim the whole
This
time.
was Bio Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
I loved it.
yeah.
I loved it. And then they're under the water and she's like getting grappled. They're like, no, chill, wait, sing them that sing song, and then they get et, and then just like, ooh, we're gonna slaughter all the babies.
You know what I imagine her song was? Under the sea, under the
Yikes.
sea, under the sea, under the sea.
Well, in this world they didn't have a Disney, so that song probably didn't exist.
Hey, maybe this is a post-apocalyptic.
Actually, I think
Earth.
there was actually
like Aladdin.
There was actually I think there was actually a line in here that made it seem like that was actually the
This is in
truth.
the far future.
Yeah.
So maybe Disney's just maybe there's one of these citadels, floating citadels that's actually Disney.
It is Disney.
It is Disney.
Fucking Disney. Trash.
No, I really liked this. It was super neat, and I do wish that I had read it a second time just to smooth out some things and see if there was stuff in the beginning that maybe I missed that would have made things easier later in the story. But it was super fun, and then low-key lady on lady action. That's fun.
Yeah.
So
Part of my problem with the story is it was trying to do so
Yeah.
much. It's like we got a lot of we're overthrowing the government kind of plot going on. At the same time, we got this romance going on. At the same time, we got this we're fighting the creatures going on, and the romance to me wasn't very believable.
it wasn't, but it was.
Because the time wasn't devoted to it to make it believable.
No. I didn't view it as a romance so much as you've got the pilot whose name I'm not even going to try to fucking remember names, but you've got the pilot.
The pilot, what? Shit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You've got the pilot who's like half hybrid or whatever.
I was really proud of myself for being able to say the name.
She is a predator. And so you get some sentences in the book about what her eyes would look like in the dark with the candle kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And for me, I was kind of very predatory, animalistic. I'm just going to take the thing that I want. And I kind of just viewed that as battle lust of sorts.
I kind of viewed it
kind of thing.
Her,
Not
her
I'm going to fall in love with you, but more
her name is
I'm going to make you my prison wife.
Tezeva.
Okay.
But I viewed it more as I think her attraction stemmed from she's so connected with that August Crown, her critter, that and Sanyanya birthed her. It was basically we're tied together by
Wasn't
that.
it Seninya? Wasn't it something like that? I don't remember.
There was an S, some A's, some other vowels, an N, and they were jumbled together.
I don't remember. You just the way you said it.
Sonya Blade.
Anyways.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, but so I kind of viewed it as Tezeva was completing the family unit. We're connected by this thing that you birthed. Because I'm so connected with this thing that you birthed, and its memories of you are there.
So fond.
Are so fond that it's kind of now we're a family.
Or we're now part of the singularity together.
Yeah.
Because drinking the one person's blood who's
'cause
part of the critter was birthed by the mom.
Sanyanya drinks some of Tezeva's blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. A lot going on there. A lot going on.
I mean, I loved the put togetherness of Iron Eels and how it was just it was a complete story. Felt really fleshed out. I think I really liked this August song better because there were so many more interesting things. What about that thing? What about that thing?
And none of them got to a fruitful end to me.
Yeah.
But there were so many of them.
Well,
That's the thing. It's like
So-
I just want more because it's like super exciting,
So,
but I'm not salty about it.
Thinking about it, I don't want this as a book. I want this as a comic book.
Or a motherfucking movie.
Or a movie, yeah, but just like, I don't know if you've ever seen the comic Low. Just like the comic Low, which I think it's a Rick Remender. But like Low the premise behind Low is that the sun is going out. Either the sun is going out or the sun has gotten too bright. I can't remember, but basically all life has fled below the surface, and it's now like much farther in the future, and there's only like one city of humans left. There's no contact, but they don't even know if the surface could be livable now. No one knows, and so it's this person has this theory like, oh, I think that there could be something up there, and they try and get to the surface, and they're super down low, and they encounter like piratey raider types.
Yeah.
But like the art style on that, I think would be very good for this with like kaiju.
I counter that with, but then we don't get like Game of Thrones level sex scenes on HBO.
Boy, I like where Derek's head's at.
I mean, let's
Fair.
just be.
Well, and also like
All
'cause
them
they're probably
mouths.
And there's lots of apparently lady action. So
Yeah.
It was in the book.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, Game of Thrones.
no,
no.
well,
and it's talking about the short story.
In short
Yeah.
story,
Yeah.
it was
the-
heavily
yeah.
implied
no. I mean, it
Well,
wasn't even implied. It's straight
if
up
you
like
think
they
about
hooked
it,
up
if she had the mouths where I thought that they were,
on her titties.
she could be kissing and sucking a titty with both
Yeah.
titties all at the same time.
I just want to point out that the first thing I read, right? So I read you know how they have it sectioned off.
Yeah.
I finished the first section, and got to the end of it, and sat there for a second. And was like, I feel like someone just showed up to the Gustav complex, and I'm about to fight them.
Oh.
Like it was just like this terrible monster thing has been born, and now it's gonna go out and fight a thing, and I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, this is a technocrat.
Yeah. Derek's referencing this role-playing forum we used to be on.
And it came off so heavily that, and I was like, I'm into this.
No, I was with it.
I really liked it. I really liked both, actually. I enjoyed them.
Did you actually have I don't normally do this, but this for some reason just tickled me. I have a favorite quote.
Okay.
It was when the pilot grabbed the Melodist and they jumped off the thing.
Yes.
When they landed afterwards, it was like, and don't worry, I can't read your mind. It's just that when people think very loudly, I catch some of the noise.
Yeah, no.
I really
that.
like the idea of that, because she's like, nah, I really can't. But when people think on things so hard, I can kind of just the edge of things.
That's
I can
relatable.
pick up.
See, I didn't even take it that way. I just took it like her saying you're thinking so loud was like you're being obvious with your thoughts.
Yeah, that's what I
But
thought.
either way, it's
Either
great.
way,
No, I love
yeah.
that line.
Yeah.
But that whole
Because she's
scene-
such a freak, man. No one understands what the hell she can do.
Oh, yeah. No,
and
yeah.
she's just like,
I didn't
this
realize you
unique
were
thing.
so strong. Well, bitch, they don't know a lot about me.
Yeah, that scene though where she's like, well, let's go eat. Well, okay, and she just jumps off the roof. That was probably my favorite scene. I thought it was written really well.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I'm dead.
I super visualized that. Like I visualized that super well.
Yeah.
Like I could see that very clearly.
I just liked that she was like, well, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I liked how she like described what she was waiting to feel, like
Splat.
Yeah, the splat, basically, because she was like the warm liquid, like just talking about the blood coming out of her. And I was
Yeah.
just like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Because I don't know what else you would think about when you're falling to your death.
I love that these critters were named kind of like pedigree horses.
You know what they made me think of?
I just kept thinking of ships.
Yeah, well, I thought of Halo. The Halo, like all the games in there are like I remember the in the first game the ship is the fall of autumn, I think is what it's called. Is the name of the ship. So like all the names in like the Halo series of ship are very much like these.
Well, it made me think of horses.
Yeah,
Percy's.
Yeah, pedigree horses.
of course.
Like this autumn song or autumn crown is what it
Yeah.
was, and then like yada yada other names.
Yeah.
It was neat.
Oh yeah, I was with it. Good. Both of them were good stories. Like
Yeah.
I was a little harder on that August song, but mostly just because I'm greedy and I just wanted more.
Yeah,
Like
the kaijus were fun.
make it a novella at least. Maybe, and who knows? Maybe we look into these authors. Maybe they've turned these into books. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Hit him up on the old Twitter.
They were both good. I enjoyed them both, but obviously there were things I didn't like about both of them.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yeah.
Fairly minor things though on both. Like there were no huge glaring problems with either story. That
Nothing inherently wrong with either story. For real.
What I think the problems that people have, it really comes down to more of a taste preference than a actual craft problem with the stories. Well, no, I take that back. I mean, again, the relationship didn't feel believable because not enough time was devoted to it. And like I get it, short story.
I guess I don't know. I mean, like for me, I didn't view it as like a relationship, just more as like I just ripped through 7 behemoths. I've taken a shower. Bitch, lay the fuck down.
What? I'm sorry. What?
What?
What do you call the big monsters?
Behemoths.
Okay.
Well, that's not what you said.
What did I say?
Behemoths?
No.
Yeah.
Yes. You can't turn a behemoth into a housewife.
I just ripped through 17 behemoths.
There we go.
There you go. I appreciate that.
Yeah, like me and Derek both like, did I hear that?
Yeah, because that was literally, I was just like,
I didn't notice.
Is this another? Did we find another one?
Is this another regular?
I think we just found a regular.
So, okay.
I think at this point, my subconsciously say things weird to just fuck with y'all.
I feel like at one point, so in the story, they mentioned the behemoth had like hands that were growing out of like its tail fin or something like that.
Yeah, I like coming out of the egg had like claw hands and shit like that.
Well, no, it wasn't even necessarily that. Just like they had a whole bunch of hands on part of the body of the one that they were about to attack.
Cilia.
Underwater.
Yeah, that's what hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they specified hands, but I really liked it because if I'm remembering correctly, in a really old text that I'm suddenly forgetting if it's the Bible or not, they mention behemoths and it mentions having a whole bunch of hands.
Well, so it heavily implies that the behemoths and the
kaiju thing.
No, what are the critters that they ride?
Vanquish or the Vanguard.
Vanquishers.
Yeah.
So it implies at the end the vanquishers and the behemoths
are kin.
Are kin.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the story, though, it says that the vanquishers are come out of you pick a human to form the core of it. So
but I think that's the implication of the pilot who that's your
because the vanquisher you then pair it with a pilot after. It said that to make a vanquisher the core of it is a human.
Is that why the pilot priest was so happy to go get devoured?
Well, so my thing like are the behemoths also like, is it they take behemoth DNA? I mean, not knowingly, but like, are they taking behemoth DNA and mixing it with a human to make a vanquisher? Or are behemoths also at their core, were they at one time humans as well?
I assume it was the other way. But at the same time, if that's true, then the pilot that's so badass is part vanquisher.
Yeah.
So
she's also part behemoth and also part of the singularity. Boom, Tanya figured out the story.
Is she just like 3/4 human?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's
a lot going on there. I want more.
I liked it so much.
I want more.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was a lot of some of the way they described stuff in that was so vague that it gave me the
I think the behemoths were supposed to be kind of horrifying.
Well, yeah that's what I'm saying.
This isn't a horror story, though, so it didn't quite come across
as
that.
But me, because of the way they described certain things, they left like so much not said that anytime that happens now, I just relate it to Lovecraft. Anytime they leave stuff purposely vague so that it kind of gives your mind more...
You don't relate it to Twilight?
I would have had to have read that.
Oh.
Garbage heap.
Twilight, they never describe Bella.
Oh, well, no, Bella is intentionally undescribable, so she can just be a vague shell for any sad sack of a fucking reader.
Wow.
That's why she has no description, is so that she has zero personality.
That was the joke.
Yikes. I'm sorry, getting real vicious.
Wow, savage.
Fucking terrible.
All right, well.
Okay, tell us how you really feel.
Well, on that note, I think
I just turned the podcast.
So Tanya can go and twist her panties. So, is there anything y'all want to add before we wrap up here? I liked them both.
I did. I liked them both. I enjoyed them.
I liked them both.
Yeah.
I just...
So the plan is going forward, we think, to keep it easy on folks, that we think what we may do is all the stories that we read from here on out might be from Beneath Ceaseless Skies, maybe.
That we only have one place to go.
But the problem there is they don't have a fixed release schedule. So they might have a episode come out on August 1st, and then they might have one come out on like September 15th. So, so it's just, they have a baseline quality to the stories, and a lot of them are audiobooks.
So far, we haven't gotten one that even I've shat on, I don't think.
Yeah. So we're toying.
Unlike that Cave in the Truth in the Mountains with the Run Fast guy.
Well, if it was good, then I wouldn't have had to shit on it. But we can also work backwards. Like, we don't have to use the most current ones.
No. So I think we're going to kind of run with Beneath Ceaseless Skies for a while. We may, after a couple months, we might find a different online mag, trade to that. But for now, we're just going to kind of run with Beneath Ceaseless Skies for a bit. And all their stuff is free to read online. You can go check out their back catalog. There's a ton of great stories, and they got a great podcast. It's much better than ours. You should also go check out.
How dare you, sir?
One podcast had to be better than ours in the world.
No, it didn't.
Fair. All right. Well, as the tiny brown leather purse of your week slings itself over your shoulder, I hope that you reach in and on the first try
find your keys.
Find what it is you're looking for, be it keys or a chappy sticky.
Yeah.
And may the blessing of the beard be upon you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for listening to this episode of Books, Beards, Booze. Our co-hosts are Bob, Derek, and Tanya. Our producer is Bob. For more information, visit our website, booksbeardsbooze.com. Follow our social media at Tales by Bob. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, subscribe, and share. Okay, bye.